Hello, everybody. Derek from the Rangers Review here with your daily bulletin on Monday, the 16th of September. And there is plenty of Rangers news to get stuck into, most of it off-field stuff. The big news to emerge last night is that Dave King is keen to return to Ibrox as chairman, taking over from John Bennett, who resigned over the weekend for health reasons. Now, King wants to return for a 2-year period, he told Chris Jack. You can read that interview in full over on the website. And he also appeared on TalkSport this morning as well, speaking to Jim White, Simon Jordan and Martin Keown. This is what he had to say. He says, "What I've done is I've made myself available. As much as it was unsurprising for me that John stepped down, I've been in fairly regular contact with him. I do really understand the stress and the impact that being the chairman of Rangers has had on him. I just hope he's well, and now that he has stood down, he can recover himself and get back to normal. I know how tough it is to be chairman of Rangers at any time, and in particular during this difficult situation. Having seen John stepping down under normal circumstances, I would have expected someone from the board to have stepped up. When I heard that what the board have decided to do, go outside to headhunt a chairman, a CEO, the job at Rangers is very different to chairing a public company. Right now, the club's in crisis. The extent of it, I don't know. Only those inside do know, but certainly the operational issues within Rangers are a challenge. I think something has to happen fairly quickly. The club lacks leadership in all aspects of the club. Clearly, we don't all know what is going wrong, but it is. It's recruitment, it's on-field issues, it's off-field issues, and there are poor management issues. It won't be comfortable for some who are in place right now. Some of the incumbents wouldn't like it. They know how I work. I'm quite direct and expect results quickly and people to put their shoulder to the wheel." He continued, "I can imagine some within the club might be more comfortable, but I am the largest shareholder, so have an economic interest to get things right. And secondly, at least, I have a track record. It needs someone to come in quickly. It needs someone with institutional experience and not someone who will spend months. There's two major objectives. One, to reintroduce the operational policies that have gone missing and to find new investment. It needs a proper plan to bridge the gap. I have no idea what I will find, but hopefully it's not as bad as when I went in years ago." Of course, John Gilligan taking over in the interim after John Bennett's resignation. King also added that he is fearful of Celtic overtaking Rangers as the world's most successful club. This is what he had to say about that. He says, "I have the utmost respect for Graham Souness, and he knows a lot more about football than me, but there is a very significant gap on and off the pitch between us and Celtic," he said in response to the notion that there's not a gulf between the teams. My fear, longer term as a fan, isn't about stopping 10 in a row, which was my previous target. One thing we do hang on to is we are still the most successful club in the world, and if we slip too long, we might lose that as well. There is a level of urgency. This season is slipping. I'm talking as a supporter. It will be very challenging with European games coming up, and they could be in a very difficult place by October. There's no leadership. There are two main categories. In the time we went through the rebuild of the club, when we had it, when it had been hollowed out by the Easdales and the Mike Ashley situation, we had to rebuild all the policies, procedures, recruitment, scouting. Everything in the club was broken, and we got it to a point where we were able to make decisions and take some management risks. At least there was a solidarity and progress was being made that got us to 55, which was the target. My biggest disappointment is to see the areas where we have gone backwards and where policies that were in place are no longer complied with by the present board, such as recruitment of players and how we write commercial contracts with players. So there you go. That is what Dave King had to say on TalkSport this morning. Also speaking on the radio station was Ali McCoist this morning. He says that a Dave King return may be the best option for the club. This is what he had to say. He says, "We've got to do something. We have to. The first thing I would like to do is echo the views and wish John Bennett a return to full health. He is a good man, and that is the most important thing. At this moment in time, we have no chairman. James Bisgrove left for Saudi Arabia. You've got to say the club is in a state. it is in a state. Dave King has come in before and grabbed the club by the scruff of the neck, shook it around and turned it around. But can he do it again? At this moment in time, I think he's probably our best option. We're not going to get any Arab sheikh coming over. I don't see it happening. From where I am sitting, the best option would be to go with another tried and tested. He has been there before and had success. McCoist continued, it would be a gamble no matter who comes in. But I think someone like Dave King, who has had a proven track record, would be good. So that is what Ali McCoist had to say on the prospect of Dave King returning to Ibrox. Moving our attention to on-field matters, Rangers getting back to winning ways yesterday, of course, with that narrow 1-0 win over Dundee United at Tannadice, thanks to an early Tom Lawrence goal. Speaking afterwards, Robin Proper said he was blown away by the away support. He says, it was nice to see how many fans were here. I have never experienced that in Holland, in an away stadium with so many of our fans. Speaking about the return to Ibrox next week, of course, Rangers taking on Dundee on Saturday in the League Cup quarter-final. He says, especially if you can do that in Ibrox together, it is really special, and I think it will be a big difference for us. I am looking forward to it a lot. One of the reasons you look forward to coming to Rangers, to be part of that with the fans in the stadium. I'm really glad that's now going to happen. I hope we can improve and do good things there. He's been speaking about getting that league win after that disappointment from the Old Firm match prior to the international break. Proper said we had to bounce back from 2 weeks ago, so we had to do something. I think we started really well and played some really good football from left to right. We had some chances. I think the goal from Tom was really good to see his quality there. After we had a lot of chances to make it 2-0, in the end, if you don't score a second goal, it's going to be more difficult, especially in the second half. They brought on more strikers, but in the defence, we did well and didn't have many chances against us. So the 1-0 was, I think, how it was supposed to be. It was disappointing 2 weeks ago, but then you move on, talk about those games and learn from it, so we improve in the following weeks. You have to win the next match you play. That was today. It was important we show the fans. It was really nice to see the fans in the stadium like this to show what we can do. We did it overall, especially in the first half. Speaking about his partnership with John Souttar, he says, you have to evolve and improve. I am new, so I have to get used to the football, my players, my opponents. That takes some time. I try to do my best and see in moments we have good quality in defence and in attack. We can improve that, and I try to do my best with John and Jefty. We're doing really well to improve. So that was Robin Proper speaking after the game yesterday. You can watch that press conference in full over on the YouTube channel now as well. Right.